who I am, introduce myself. The rain kind of drove me crazy. I'm Michael Slate. I'm a contributing writer to Revolution newspaper and the host of the Michael Slate Show on KPFK Radio. So welcome from Michael Slate. Our first speaker, I'm very proud to bring to the microphone, is a person who has done a hell of a lot in his own right around prisons and working with prisoners, and as well as creating tremendously beautiful and powerful music. Wayne Kramer from Jail Guitar Doors.
Good morning. My name is Wayne Kramer, and I'm here this morning to talk about the hunger strike in California's prisons. I am co-founder of Jail Guitar Doors USA. We are a 501c3 nonprofit based here in Los Angeles, and we're the United States arm of an independent initiative with our co-founder in the United Kingdom, Billy Bragg. We are musician-funded and musician-operated. What we do is simple. We find people that work in prisons that are willing to use music as rehabilitation, and we provide them with guitars. We also work for justice reform and prison reform, and that's why I'm here today. I'm known mainly as a guitarist, but for a couple of years I was known as 00180-190. I am an ex-prisoner. I can speak for all the musicians, actors, artists, and activists that we know when I say that we stand behind this historic hunger strike and we support the prisoners' courageous efforts. When Grover Norquist and Newt Gingrich and their colleagues on the far right line up with prisoners, progressives, and hardcore lefties, you know something's out of kilter in America. There's a disconnect between who we say we are and how the reality of our policies play out. But leave it to the lowest of the low, the prisoners of America, to step up and show us the contradiction. Change always starts from the bottom up, and there are no people that our society casts lower than those sentenced to live and die in our prisons. They are disproportionately people of color and of limited economic means. And they are showing us who we are. To paraphrase Senator Jim Webb, we're either the most evil people in the history of Earth, or we're doing something wrong about locking people up. Here in the Golden State, we have incarcerated our fellow citizens in a frenzy for the last 30 years. Because it was politically expedient, mass incarceration served the career goals of politicians and the powerful prison guards union. But now something has to give. The drug war, the death penalty, the extraordinarily severe sentences have combined to create a perfect storm of misery and defeat for over 2.5 million of our fellow citizens now in prison. And these aren't the eyeball tattooed freaks of TVs locked up. These are our brothers and sisters, our fathers and mothers, husbands, sons, daughters, cousins, and our friends. They are us, and we are them. There's an emerging lower caste of ex-felons that will have more difficulty fitting into the mainstream of American society than has ever happened before in our history. We have locked people up for decades in institutions that inculcate them in a world of fear, violence, racism, and defeat. For decades now, the entire focus of America's prisons has been on punitive incapacitation. But 95% of the people we lock up one day are released back into our community, and they'll live next door to you and me. And what good did their time in state custody do them or us? They are now worse, not better, for the experience. We have supported these policies at our own peril. In the final analysis, the left and right agree we cannot afford it, neither fiscally nor ethically. We spend $200 billion yearly on locking people up. The federal government is broke. California is broke. Some states have already begun reforming incarceration policies. but we can't afford it on a deeper, more important level. The hunger strikers are not starving themselves to protest their convictions or the drug laws or the sentences the courts have handed down to them. They're reaching out for civil rights and, most importantly, human rights, the right to human dignity. For the right to not be denied health care, to not be tortured, isolated, intimidated, starved, and cut off from contact with their families and friends inside and outside of the fence. One is sentenced to prison as punishment, not for punishment. The least powerful among us are giving us, and we hope, giving to the most powerful among us, a lesson in what it means to be civilized. For that, we should thank them, and we should carry the message that human rights must come to California's prisons, along with justice for all Americans.